Oh, your granny's here.
That's me mother. It's the child's
Okay.
granny. It's just, yeah.
The
Hello,
child's granny.
the child's granny, yes. Hello, Pork Granny, Uncle Beck, Doubting Thomas, and 420 if you haven't fallen asleep. He's probably fallen asleep. No, it's early for him, isn't it? It's early in the morning now for him. He's probably driving on the way to work or something.
I can't keep. I can't.
Fair point. Fair point. Fair point. I think we worked it out earlier today. Like 6 in the afternoon for me is 3 in the morning for Sammy. On the next day. Because he's in Australia. So that just confuses everything. But yeah, thanks everybody for coming back. Another wonderful night with the history of According to Richard. Let me just check. Yeah, no, I haven't shared that yet. Why is the chat always so fucking small whenever I join this fucking thing? That is just...
I don't know. And sometimes I like play around with the plus and minus, control plus minus for screen sizes. And then I can never get it back exactly where I want and I have to reset it.
That's just working now. Fixed it now. It's a little bit bigger anyway. Anyway, yeah. Thanks everybody for coming back. Usual banter. You know who Richard is. You know why I'm here. You know who I am. We're all just going to just jump straight into it and try not to kill each other this week.
Technically, no one got killed last week.
Puts the views up, you cunt. We'll start fights and rows. People will come in.
Terrible. Let it be known that I am not trying to create a dumpster fire in order to create views. I'm not. Everything that I'm saying, all the interactions between Robbie and myself are genuine.
Yeah. And we're not going to fall out over anything. Like, you know, we always have a chat afterwards and a bit of banter, and you know, I still think he's mad as a hatter, and he still loves the bones of me. So you know. Yeah. So what we will do is we'll just jump straight over to it. Thanks everybody for coming. Really do. It wouldn't be worth it if you weren't here. And if I can find the right button to make sure that I share the actual what do you call the Bible
The
verses
screen.
we're all reading.
There it is. I see it.
I'm trying to fix the chat as well, for fuck's sake. It's small here too. I don't know why. There we go. That's not.
It looks fine on YouTube. It must be only small for you.
Oh no, it's not right. It's just not right at all. It's annoying me. I don't know why it's like that, but it's now gonna be there and everybody can see it, and I don't care. We're gonna live with it anyway. We didn't want to get any more work done today anyway. No, you didn't, Clout. No, put your feet up. Relax. Listen to me and Richard. Come on in. Come on in. Light the fire. Get comfy. So, Richard, we did finish chapter 8, but just before the stream you were adamant would be too strong of a word, but you want us to go over verse 13 of 8 as well before we go on to chapter 8.
I mean, you read it aloud at the end of the show, and then we just talked about other things and didn't really talk about 8:13. And peace and respect to Clout as well as everyone else. And I beheld and heard an angel flying through the midst of heaven, saying with a loud voice, Woe, woe, woe to the inhabitants of the earth by reason of the other voices of the trumpet of the 3 angels which are yet to sound. So future events. And for anyone who doesn't know what woe means in this reference, it means woe as in pity and horrible things and woefulness.
Oh shit is what I was thinking.
Yeah. They will be in a state of woe because of the next 3 things.
Right.
So here we are at the halftime show.
Right. So what do you mean it's the halftime show? How do we know it's the halftime show?
Like in football, okay, you know what I mean by halftime.
Yeah,
so
but how?
Asking me to justify it.
Yeah.
Yeah. The angel flying in the heavens, and a lot of people would take that to be uppercase heaven, but here they have it lowercase correctly. It means sky. So you've got a flying thing in the sky, literally, and it's making announcements that stuff's about to go real south, like bad.
Well,
like it's been rough to this point, it's about to get bad.
Well, we could say that was the opening scene, and then it's not necessarily a halftime. I would have.
It's literally halfway through.
How are you getting the halfway through?
It's the 5th one out of 7. The 4th thing just happened. Number 4 was literally the middle of 7. That's over. Now we're getting into the bad stuff. Halftime show.
Right, so we've got 5, 6, and 7, and we've had 1, 2, 3, and 4. You can't really have a half because it's an odd number. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll see your justification.
I think this is actually chronological. A lot of people would argue it's not. I think it is.
Well, you have also said that the entire synopsis was earlier on as well.
Sure. And that happens 3 times.
Oh, fuck, it's just... Oh, the ego has arrived. Hello, Phoebe. Hi, Phoebe. Missed you.
And what's about to happen. The opening of the pit of hell. So, let's see. Is there anything else in 13 that should be addressed? Blah, blah, blah. Feel bad for the folks on the planet. Okay, so I don't know how Christians say anything besides mid-trib. And by mid-trib, they mean ascension in the middle time, the halftime, of the tribulation or great tribulation.
I don't
know how to get around that considering this part right here.
Okay, you said trib twice, and I just, every time you say it, I think tribbles. All right, we've been over this before. Say it with tribulation.
Okay, not little furry creatures on Star Trek.
Yes.
Not that kind of trib. But tribulation meaning trouble.
Right, I know, but you said trib when you should have said tribble, and I didn't listen to the rest of your story because I was thinking tribbles.
I'm going to say it again using not the word trib.
That's what I'm asking. Thank you.
All right, great. Okay. Some Christians believe in a pre-tribulation rapture. Some believe in mid-tribulation rapture. Some believe in post-tribulation rapture.
Now I understand what you mean.
Okay. I don't know how to get around mid-tribulation rapture only. And the only justification that I know of that Christians normally say is, well, why would God do that? Well, I'm sorry, but now you're outside of the text. The text says God does it. You're going to experience the first half either way. There is no pre-tribulation rapture in the Bible. It just doesn't exist.
Well, there was the story, like, not to be a Christian or anything like that there, and as I say, it's not my view, but, you know, how fucking high up does that chat go? Right? I've ruined the whole thing altogether now. The point I'm trying to say is, at the start, there is the play. As we have
saying plague.
The play. The analogy that we used was a play, Jesus watching the previous Jesus on the stage, right?
Play, yeah.
Right. So there was that play at the start of things that are due to happen and shit like that. So they could use that for justification. That's your start. You know, now I haven't got to the end of the story, so I can't say what happens at the end. I can see your middle point, but there was also a discussion of all this at the start of the book.
Sure.
Before the main description of the actual apocalypse happened. So if they weren't taking it like your view, they could take it as in step by step by step. So there's a tribulation at the start and blah, 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 blah. With the way your belief system goes with it, I can see how we've went through a play. This is what's happening. Your little synopsis, and this is the actual breakdown of it. So I can see between 4 and 5 a halfway point.
I'm glad you can see that and those differences.
I'm trying my best to talk proper words and explain it better so we don't hit fucking headlocks, all right? But yes, I can...
I'm trying to do the same.
I know. We were really good. But yes.
If we both work at it, we can figure out ways to communicate. Okay. And I think the part that typical Christians find confusing is there is a second resurrection that is described, and that's why all three of those views exist. My view is something in between those, that there is no pre-tribulation rapture. There is only mid and post, and mid is for those who accept it right away, and post is for those who trail behind but accept it eventually, which seems really obvious once you say it. Okay. So on to 9:1. And the fifth angel sounded, and I saw a star fall from heaven unto the earth.
We're going to agree
and to him was given the key of the bottomless pit.
We're going to agree that this is a meteorite or a comet or whatever crashing into the earth.
I agree it's a falling object.
Well, we did say star earlier, and we described a falling star earlier as a meteorite.
Yes.
So could we be consistent?
Yes.
And say that this is... You don't think it is? Because you said object.
It's a bright falling object. I think it's a brightly lit falling object for certain.
But you won't make the commitment to the same definitional belief, whatever we want to call it, as we used for star earlier.
And you might ask me, para quoi?
Yeah, why?
And I would say because of the book of Enoch that describes this in huge detail, which that detail is not here.
Right, so you believe that... Now, we went through Enoch and he was on a ship and all. Are you talking about that place that he went to?
Yes. When he was taken over a large body of water and went to a foreign land, while he was there, the angels did certain things for him to witness. And he was always interested in the wrong thing for the wrong reason. But they still showed him the stuff and he still wrote it down. And one of the things was creation of the pit of hell. And when I read of Enoch and the creation of the pit of hell, that was the second vision I ever got.
Did we not mention that or talk about that? We need to
a lot. Like he goes on and on about it. That it's this thing with lightning dancing all over it.
Oh man. It's so long ago. I'd just be easier to watch the series. Just give me a verse and a chapter, and
I don't know the verses. I don't know the numbers.
I'll look
Numerical
back and I'll
values.
fucking find it in what episode, whatever it was that we.
Alphanumerics and me, we don't get along. I
Yeah,
can
but
never
that's
remember
the best way for us to do it. Not go over it again, because it's all, yeah. But okay, so you're taking the Book of Enoch, and in the Book of Enoch, it was described as what being this.
So he also calls it the key of hell.
Okay, but what I'm asking is, this thing that is an object in the sky, what is it? Is it a spaceship then?
Okay, well, he describes it, and it's very brief right here, I'm sorry, as around a spherical thing that has lightning dancing all over it, and anything it touches turns into smoke. So what do I think of? And when it gets to the bottom, the preset depth, it shuts off, crashes on the bottom of the hole it just created. It splits in two, and the locusts fly out of it.
So it goes into the hole it created. So it creates a hole bigger than it.
Falling.
It creates a cavern bigger than it.
Oh yeah, much bigger. Yeah. In the vision that I had, it had like it was a silverish sphere, and it was about, I don't know, 50 meters across.
So not that big.
What's that?
Not that big.
Yeah, relatively small, but a lot bigger than a city bus. And the lightning dancing around it was actually actual electricity energy it was emitting. And how it turned things into smoke is that energy source was so strong.
Vaporized it.
The energy field around it was so strong, it literally just vaporized anything it touched. Rock, tree, water, doesn't matter. It's going to be vaporized.
Oh, naked girls with their clothes off already. Here. Hold on, do we get rid of them?
Yeah, they'd be vaporized too. Oh, you're talking about the side chat.
Oh, Simos got in there just before me. Quick fingers. Hi, Simos, lurking.
What kind of an insult is that? Even you. I'm a handsome guy. I'm in good shape. What do you mean, even you?
Here, girls want every answer.
Why are you putting me down? Is there something wrong with me?
Here, they're on my channel.
Me in the middle of a sale here.
They're talking to me. It's my channel.
Oh, even you.
Yeah. Right. Two things.
Yeah.
The vision, I don't think that if you've mentioned it to me, you've not mentioned it enough.
Okay. Fair enough.
That's going to have to be another question.
So it heaven's in the sky, as I just said, the angel in the heavens, which means sky here, as representative of heaven, and then something falls out of the bottom of the angel in the sky, which represents heaven, or falls out of the bottom of heaven. And
so
in
a probe.
other places, what's that?
So the mothership dropped a spherical probe to the earth.
Yeah, that's all.
Like a lot of sci-fi movies. Okay.
What's that?
Like loads of sci-fi movies.
Yeah, well, probably. I don't know. I haven't seen every sci-fi movie, but it's
no. You don't need to see every sci-fi movie. I'm just making a flashback joke because it's in your subconscious, like everyone else's subconscious. Right.
Oh, okay, yeah. So it's silvery, it's metallic, it's emitting energy, and it vaporizes whatever this energy touches because it's just a hell of a lot of energy. Okay. And it makes a pit about a football field across. Only it's the energy thing is that size. The energy field is that size.
I just figured this out. The reason that these people are taking our materials, excuse me, the reason the people are taking our materials is because they squander energy like this. Like you're traveling around space, you need to be doing things on a budget, and here you go landing with your flashy LEDs. Too much RGB. Far too much RGB. You don't need this. It's a waste of electric.
Well, there's got to be the execution of the sentencing for Lucifer, and also Satan and his angels have to be imprisoned.
Why are you vaporizing the poor wee crows on the way down that just happen to be flying past? You're wasting energy. Just leave the birds alone.
There's relatively good evidence in physics recently, although not everyone would share my view. And if this is, I'm going to say something controversial. I know that's really weird. But we have good evidence to say there's an energetic differential, an electrical differential in different parts of space. So actually to collect energy in outer space, which we know radiation and energy is everywhere through space. We know that. We're getting some from a star right now, and that's what's keeping us alive. It would be just a matter of having a differential between your spaceship, its energy, and the energy outdoors of it, and a way to conduct that.
No, I don't think that we are on
I
the...
don't think would be complicated.
I don't think we're talking the same thing, but I have seen, and people in the chat may be able to back me up on this, possible ideas for future taking of energy when it goes very dark and everything's so spread about is black holes. You put something into the black hole and it comes out with more energy than it did going in. With this,
I thought nothing escapes black holes.
Nothing. If you're just on the outskirts of the event horizon and all,
before the event horizon.
Okay. Yeah, you're putting it in and you're getting sucked, but when you come out, it's like a gravitational boost. Do you know when you do it on a planet? But you do it on a
like a slingshot effect.
Like a slingshot effect, but it comes out with more energy. I've seen stuff on that. I can't give a big breakdown of it. I'm not a physicist.
That's one of the theories that I'm talking about when I say there's energetic differentials in space.
But I have not looked into the electric energy or the electric universe, whatever it's called, and I have heard Dave.
Terrible name.
I have heard Dave mention that our conversations that you two have had about that, but I haven't looked into it, so I can't comment on it.
Yeah. Right.
Hello, Sandy.
And Brian Stevens and Titan.
Oh, Titan's been here for a while.
Apparently.
Right. So we are visioning, and you're sure it's a vision. You were awake.
Oh yeah.
You were reading the book.
Yeah.
While
it was another waking dream. I mean, I've spoken a lot about the David and Goliath waking dream, but there's been a lot more.
The David and Goliath waking dream, I would give more validity to if I could. Oh, Naked's back. Visit us to be sure. Simos, get in there with your quick fingers. I would not more validity, but how do I word this without sounding like an asshole again?
Hey, that was good English. That was amazing. I want to compliment Naked HD on their English because that actually made sense.
And multiple emojis with squirts. Right. What I was trying to say is the first one came out of nowhere. You were...
Yes.
Yeah, right.
Not soliciting.
The second one happened while you were actually reading Enoch.
Yes.
Right. So do you see where I'm coming from with one? I would give more, not validity, sure, but if we were going over the possibility of something can trigger something, and it could have triggered it out of nowhere, but if you were actually reading a book,
sure,
there could be a trigger point from it.
I had already developed a bias because of the first event.
Oh, not even the bias. It's literally you're reading the fucking thing, and then you have and then you waking dream about what you're actually reading.
Right.
Yeah.
So now, at that point, I wanted more information.
Yeah.
And that, of course, is a form of bias.
Wild Heart's here.
What's that?
Wild Heart's here. Now it's a dumpster fire. Or else it's karaoke. I haven't decided. Is Wild Heart's dumpster fires or karaoke?
It's more karaoke than dumpster fires. He allows them, but he never causes them. To be fair. Which is a phrase he likes, to be fair.
Okay. Let's talk about the bottomless pit of hell.
Yes. It's a pit in the ground. That's all.
According to you, the width of a football field.
Yeah. That's the way it looked to me from that perspective. Yeah.
Hello, Bree. Everybody's all turning up.
There's BrainBug right there, yeah.
So, yes, so a football field wide.
Or so.
Like we didn't measure the damn thing.
No, I didn't.
Could you pause it and then just get a tape out?
You know, I've never attempted. The moment is just too. It's too much in the first place. Never mind. Oh, hey, could I pause this? That's just like not a thought that happens to me.
No, but have you ever had hypnosis?
I have never been hypnotized.
Have you tried to be hypnotized?
I've never had someone attempt to hypnotize.
And I'm not talking about a guy on a stage that goes cluck like a chicken and lay some eggs or something like that. I'm talking about, you know, recurring. You have this memory that you want to bring back. And I'm sure that in America, things being the way they are, if you've enough money, you could pay for a fucking psychiatrist to hypnotize you for an hour. Somebody professional.
My wife did so she could stop smoking.
Right. Would you consider going to that person and recording your reaction, say, setting up a camera and asking him to hypnotize you to bring that memory, that vision back?
Sure, as long as I don't have to pay for it.
Well, that's what I just discussed. Was like giving them money.
Oh, I wouldn't give them money to do that. Hell, I don't care.
But to have it on record, I know you don't care. But if you were put under by a professional, right?
Yeah.
And they asked you to bring forth this dream and relive it and go through it, then we would hear it from you firsthand. There would be, you know, I wouldn't say more evidence or this, that, and the other, because it's again coming from you. But if even in your subconscious, under hypnosis, this sort of state still confirmed that it would be true and this, that, and the other, then that would sort of go against, you know, it would give your belief more validity, right? For yourself. I understand that, okay? But it would be interesting to see. It would make me believe you more. Not that I don't believe you, but it would make me believe you more if you get. And I don't want to say believe you more because it probably wouldn't. But you get what I'm trying to put across to you.
It's fine. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. I understand what you're saying and why you're saying.
There's not the words for it, all right? But you get what I'm saying.
Well, first of all, a person's subconscious is better than their conscious memory.
Mm-hmm.
From everything we can tell.
If the audience got
and get a recollection of a story, it's probably more accurate than the recollections you've heard from the conscious mind.
Could we get a week's notice and do a poll? And can we come up with 10 questions that you can give the therapist to ask when you're recording this? It's like, Ox is asking, Bree wants to know, okay, there's a thing. You know, it'd be interesting. Like,
I don't know if we're going to do all this. It's an interesting thought, no doubt.
It would definitely get you on the bigger, it would go viral. We'll cut it all up.
I tell you what'll make this go viral. It happens.
Of
course, the internet won't be working.
I was just about to say, it can't go
it
can't go viral if there's no internet. It just becomes real life.
Here's the funny part. And Christians say, "Oh, I know the truth. I know the truth," and all the Christians say that, of course. And they actually can't be right. Okay, if their view is popular. Like if you say, I agree with Frank Turek and thereby I am right.
You get kicked off the MathPig show.
That's what'll happen.
When the MathPig and Richard show.
Apparently.
MathPig and Richard show, sorry.
But the text says of itself, the truth about the text will never be popular on this earth. Never.
Come on.
Not going to happen.
Come on. That's a set. A lot of religions will put that in as a backup.
No, they don't. You name one.
I don't study religions, like, you know.
Well, let me tell you why it's self-defeating. If I say consensus, right? That means a large group of people, right? If I say I'm right because of consensus, church fathers, the size of my church, the number of people who believe it, then it's popular by definition. But the Bible says the truth will not be popular. Thereby, Catholicism has to be wrong according to the Bible.
Just to clarify, me and Richard get very little views in this, except when we row, and I do this to have the crack with Richard. I'm proud of what I do with Richard. If you don't have a problem, if you have a problem with that, Ox, but yeah, I'm proud of what I do with Richard. He's a friend of mine. I like to hang out, and we literally get to the fucking point where we scream at each other. So, yeah.
That's okay. It's a sign of trust.
Mm-hmm.
I don't scream at people that I think might kill me.
Oh no, I watched that last week's episode just for the audience. I watched it back 3 times, and like, oh my goodness, the two of us was at points where we were just like this at each other. And then I screamed at Richard. I lost the bap at one point, and Richard just did the little doggy thing. He just did that. And then I sent Richard an email going, oh man, I feel ashamed. I feel bad. You just like, he went like that there as if you were being scolded like a bad dog or something, and I felt awful. But right, we've been rambling.
Yeah.
Where were we?
Okay,
Pit of hell.
So I think the key to the bottomless pit is the object itself that makes the bottomless pit, which is why Michael can have a key to the bottomless pit. That is, Michael hits the button that drops the thing. That's Michael's job. And,
plunger.
And then
like an actual.
Yeah, he hits the release button. Whatever.
Is there? You forgot? No, there's always a safety. You have to flick the safety cap off before you can push it.
Right.
You don't want it going off in your pocket. You know, you turn too quick.
Deploy.
Yeah, you have to flick it.
Yeah, something like that. Revelation 9:2, and he opened the bottomless pit.
Mm-hmm.
And there arose a smoke out of the pit, as the smoke of a great furnace. And the sun and the air were darkened by reason of the smoke of the pit.
In the local area, possibly.
In the local area from the perspective of John. So from where he was standing, it made a cloud and he couldn't see the sun.
Yeah.
Right.
Fair
enough.
Fair enough. Well, it's right. Digging the whole way to hell. There's bound to be a lot of dust.
Yeah. If you've ever seen something electrically disjointed from itself, it's violent, and it makes a lot of dust of solid materials. Yeah. That's just how that works.
I've seen it in the movies. Yeah.
Yeah. If you add enough, well, you've welded
badly, but yeah.
But it doesn't matter how well you weld. You have weld materials before. There's a certain amount of loss that comes off as smoke vapors.
Oh, yeah. You have your mask and all that.
That's literally electrically disjoining something from itself.
When the boys have to weld the inside of the tankers, it's folded round and they weld the outside. They have to actually climb in the fucker and weld from the inside, and they have then a proper weld with the wee gas and all. For that.
You can't breathe that in. That'll hurt you bad.
Fucking massive big long tankers. Fucking huge tankers. Right. But yeah.
Yeah, I've done positive pressure suits and stuff. Like in the U.S., they call it SEBA instead of scuba.
Oh, right.
It's not underwater. It's just a self-contained breathing apparatus.
I don't know. I have no idea what it's called.
Yeah, that's what we call it over here.
I don't know half the guys' names. He's got flames in his helmet, so that's the guy I'm looking for. He's got a butterfly or whatever in the fucking his helmet, so I'm going, no butterflies at work, but I'm just, that's what I go by.
Lots of welders have butterflies. What some do, I don't know.
I haven't a fucking clue. I walked in the day and it was like, Ryan, I've been told to give this to Ryan. Who the fuck's Ryan? I hadn't a fucking clue. Like, wasn't even
the
Ryan.
Instructions should have been guy with green flames.
Wasn't even fucking Ryan. It was someone else. They pointed to me and Ryan's over there and he popped his fucking helmet up and he was like, hi. And I was like, you're not the guy I'm looking for. The fuck's the wee short guy always does the block cut? Is he not Ryan? I was like, I can't even remember what his fucking name was. And he went home. So I just left it against the wall and said, give it him tomorrow, and walked away. Rambling. Spartan's turned up. Hello, Spartan. Did Jim Hall get in contact with you? Follow Jim back.
I'm supposed to contact Jim. Jim tried to contact me. I'll get a hold of him, but maybe tonight.
Spartan, you have been all over Twitter with pictures of your beautiful twins and your wonderful wife. Why the fuck would you be in our live chat?
Why not?
Well, I'd having a wife and 2 beautiful babies.
I don't know. People have life outside of a wife and 2 beautiful babies.
If I had a wife and 2 beautiful babies, I wouldn't be talking to you right now.
What is it, twins? Is that what you mean by 2 beautiful babies?
Yes.
Twins?
Yes.
Wow.
Yikes. Anyway, locusts. There's now
Yeah,
the
locusts. And there came out of the smoke locusts upon the earth, and unto them was given the power, as the power of scorpions, as the scorpions of the earth have power.
I'm just guessing a stinger.
That is, they sting you.
Yes.
There you go.
Yeah.
So, like a scorpion stings.
And don't hurt the grass, no green thing, no trees, but only those men who have not the seal of God in their foreheads.
Right. You'll notice that that's a list of things that locusts normally eat.
Yes, yeah, I got that. Yeah, specifically not the.
Not everyone would notice.
Okay, they're genetically engineered fucking locusts that sting really badly, but don't kill you because they're going to torture you for 5 months, as the next fucking verse, as he says, right? Yeah, 5 months, right? So they don't kill you; they just cause you immense pain. Something like who's read? Oh, it's a tracker jacker. Is it a tracker jacker? Is it a tracker jacker? A tracker jacker. It is a tracker jacker from the Mockingbird, from the Mockingjay. Genetically engineered wasps that cause immense pain and immense torture and hallucinations, but do not kill you. I think they're called tracker jackers.
Well, they took that right out of the Bible, didn't they? Can you make this rendering center screen for me, please, for just a moment? Because I had a friend of mine draw something that is this.
Nope.
No? Not going to do that? Too hard to do. Okay, never mind.
Hold on. I could go back to the 2 screen, which will make it a little bigger.
Maybe we'll do it at the end of the show if it's too hard to do right now.
Yeah, I haven't it set up like that. Yeah.
Yeah, let's not do it right now. It's too much trouble.
Yes.
Anyway, I want to show people a general...
Hunger Games. That's what it was. Sorry to interrupt.
Okay. All right. Go ahead.
It was the Hungry Games. Thank you, back.
Hunger Games. Oh. Right on.
Tracker jackers. Right. So they've got stingers.
I've never heard of this.
They've got stingers.
They got stickers.
The point of that doesn't matter about their stingers. We've got lost in the Hunger Games. The seal of God. What's the seal of God?
Where are you reading from? Oh, seal of God in their foreheads. There. I thought it said seen. Yeah, the seal of God. Okay. So here's something else where Christians aren't consistent. They say the mark of the beast is going to be physical, but the seal of God is mental.
No.
I don't know why they're switching it.
Where does that come from?
Which part?
Right, you're saying that... Hold on. I'm asking you, what is the seal of God that's on my forehead? And your answer was, Christians believe that it's mental over the mark of the beast being physical. I don't care what Christians believe. I'm asking you.
Belief. It's belief. It's some level of understanding that makes a person okay with the situation. That's the sealed in their forehead.
So a mental
the brain is the thing in your forehead.
So a mental. I'm just giving off.
It's a mental, yeah. It's a mental situation. Like there's a line I
question. Can I have a question?
That reads, or it might be in Matthew. That reads, always be prepared to give a reason for the hope within you. And Christians go, oh, I'm supposed to be an apologist. No, that's not what it means. It means if the situation is bad enough and you're okay, people will ask you why you're okay. And you should be able to explain why you're okay. Of course, if you had a working theory, whether it was accurate or not, that made you okay with a certain given situation that everyone else is not okay with, then you would act different than them. You know? So I think this is talking about the evidence of their actions. You will know they are Christians by the way they act, that sort of idea.
You can fake that.
Well, you can't fake, I think, okay, alien invasion, flying locust scorpion thingies flying all over the place, stinging everyone who didn't accept the alien abduction. Hard to fake okay with that.
I don't know what the difference between this person running and screaming and this person running and screaming. They're gonna know the difference from just a mental attitude.
Well, you just said the same thing twice. How
It's
about
because
this?
you've got the
One
nice
person
people
running and screaming. The other one's like, no, calm down. Let me explain this.
Hold on. Well, how do they know?
Because they've already been to heaven. And they're part of the returning group, the army of 144 and the teachers.
Okay.
That's how they would know.
Right. I thought the army has already came and been.
What?
We've already discussed the army.
Yes, of course.
Yes. So the army's already came long ago.
No, because this is super repetitive. And it keeps saying the same stuff.
It doesn't mention the army here, though.
3 times.
But it doesn't mention it doesn't mention the army here.
The army of 144,000. No, it's not mentioned here.
No, I'm asking you what the seal of God is, and you're telling me it's a mental thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Understanding of some kind.
Yeah, and I'm saying from the humans, you're saying there's no humans left on the earth that originally believed in Adam and this personification of God that you believe what it is. They've already been taken up and back down again. So there's only the people on
That's
the
not completely right.
Right.
That's not completely right, because there are those who believe in God, some kind of God, and believe in some kind of heaven, some kind of angels, who won't accept heaven, and they're going to want to stay because they think that's the wrong heaven. And then there's some who will be atheistic, agnostic, whatever, and go, holy crap, it was describing an alien invasion the whole time, and I'm cool with that, let's go. And
right, but there's still okay, yeah, but there's still a giant, swarm, I think's the word I'm looking for, of locusts that can sting you coming at a group of people, right? And say if we're talking,
everyone who stays behind.
Right, everybody who stays behind, which you've described as people who believe in some sort of a God, and agnostic people who eventually will go, fuck, it was an alien invasion, I accept it.
Right.
There's the two groups of people who are running from locusts. I'll accept an alien.
No. Those, they ascended. They don't experience the locust.
So that's what I'm saying. Who is left on the right? So that's what I'm saying. You're telling me that these people who originally, and the agnostics and all them people, have been up to heaven and are now back again with the army.
No, not back yet. They're not back yet, but they are sealed.
Sealed? You just mentioned they came down with the army because they've already been to heaven.
Okay, I wish I could just project the chart in my head out here into reality for you, but I don't
this
know
is where the confusion is coming from.
Yeah. The problem is the chronology, the time spacing. Okay, so when it reads here, they sting. Okay, like a scorpion. Okay, they don't eat these green things that locusts normally eat, but only those men which have not the seal of God in their foreheads. That's telling what they will affect, not what they have already affected. They haven't done anything yet.
That's a nonsensical sentence to me, and
they just flew into. They're a cloud right now. They're just a cloud right now. They haven't done anything.
Who's a cloud?
The locust thingies are just a cloud. That's all they are right now.
Right?
They haven't done anything. And this is predictive. They were commanded, future tense, that they should not hurt the grass, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, I get all this.
But they're going to sting the non-believers.
Right. They're going to sting people who doesn't have the seal of God on their forehead.
Right.
Brilliant. We already got that. I'm asking you what the seal is, and you're telling me it's a mental thing. Right. And I'm asking you, the people who are left... Right. This is where the issue's coming up with, right? It's saying here, if I can quote it, if I can find the fucking thing. 4. Right. But only those men which have not the seal of God on their foreheads. Which means that there's 2 types of men, minimum.
Yes.
Okay. So, we have 2 different types of men looking at this big pile of locusts going, fuck, I'm getting my ass out of here. So they run. Run that way. Run that way. Whatever way they're
No.
run this way, right?
No, it's already wrong. You skipped the ascension. Don't know why.
Because it's not said there.
So it says halftime, and then the ascension's at halftime in other parts of the text.
Okay, right, okay. So ascension happens. So ascension happens. No. We're going to go with yours, right? This is where my problem is. Halftime happens. Ascension happens.
Yeah.
Then the thing happens.
Locust released.
Released.
Yeah.
And who's the two groups of people that they're going after then? You just agreed with me that there was two groups of people. But now you're telling me that they've already ascended.
People, but you didn't say on the earth. You just said there was two different groups. I agreed. Yes, there are.
Yes, two groups of people still on the earth.
No. That's where I stopped you several times.
Right, and I'm going to go back to the thing that you agreed with me on when I said there's a minimum of at least two.
Yes, there are.
Only those men which have not the seal of God in their foreheads.
Right.
So that means the locusts are looking at two groups of men, minimum.
No.
It does. Is that not English?
No, that's an assumption.
That's not an assumption. It's only those men. Why not just? But let me get this out.
Going to affect, right?
If there's only one group of people that you want to sting and torture for 5 months, then you say go forth and sting everyone. You don't say only the men who are good, or only the men seal of God, or whatever. I'm going to shorten it to only the good men.
Okay.
Or, sorry, only the bad men. Because the good men have already left. You wouldn't say that. You would just say go forth and sting everyone.
Yeah, they haven't done anything yet. It's talking about their commandment, what they're commanded to do.
It's nothing to do with what they've done. You told me it was to do with whether they accept it or not. And some people after a while will accept and go, oh fuck, it's an alien invasion after a while.
We've said this before. We've been over this idea. Those who can accept heaven for what it is when it arrives will say, good, I'm cool, and ascend. At judgment. At the judgment. Although, after being judged, which is involuntary, people can choose to not ascend, their free choice, okay, and stay on the earth. If they don't ascend and stay on the earth, it's because they're not sealed in their foreheads. They don't have the correct understanding. You can call it false understanding, whatever. Anyway, they don't agree, okay? They don't have that concept in their mind that this is the actual heaven and actual angels, which would make them accept.
They won't accept the aliens as what people believe to be God.
Right. Okay. So naturally, they would not take the ascension. They wouldn't take the invitation. They'd stay on the earth. They'd be the only ones still on the earth.
Right. So why does the text not say go forth and sting everyone? Why does it state in the words that it's used?
I think it could have been written that way.
Yes, to donate.
That would have been okay.
To donate a group, 2 groups minimum.
Yeah, 2 groups.
Yeah.
One in heaven, one on the planet.
No, the locusts can't get to the heaven people because you've said that
that's
heaven.
Right. They can't. They don't go inside of heaven. That's right.
No, the locusts can't get to heaven. It's far too far away. Far too far away. Couldn't get there. They're talking about minimum of 2 groups of people. I'm asking the 9 people watching, and
it's not that I can't see reading it that way. I can see what you're saying. I can see why you're reading it that way.
Well, then say that. Don't say no. Say I can see your point.
No, I can see your point that you could read this as both groups are still on the planet. It's just ignoring other parts of the story to say it.
And no, it's not putting them in. It's not putting them in the order that you have them in. It's not ignoring them. I'm aware of them, and being aware of them is the reason that I'm putting this in the order that I'm putting it in and coming to this conclusion because of what's already happened.
Okay.
You know, that I'm seeing A, B, C, D, and I'm getting here, and we discussed A, discussed B, discussed C, and discussed D. I disagreed with you at every point, but I'm not ignoring A and B. I've just come to a different conclusion here. Do you understand where I'm coming from? Don't fucking count how many letters there is.
The eighth word in 4 is should. Why is that word should?
And it was commanded them that they should not.
Yeah. Should.
Make your point.
It's future tense.
Right. And I'll go back to the statement that I used where they haven't stung anyone yet. And I have two groups of people running from a cloud of locusts and wondering how do the locusts know, as I ask what I did at the start, what the seal of God is. And you say it's a mental state. And
The
I'm
locusts don't know. The locusts sting everybody who's there. It would be fine if it was written, go sting everybody that's still here. It'd be fine to be written that way.
Would you agree that reading it under the understanding that you believe it to be, it would be better to have said, go forth and sting everyone?
You know, this thought never entered my mind that you're having and presenting to me. I don't think from my personal brain, I would have liked it better the other way. I actually liked it just fine like this, and what you're presenting just never even occurred to me.
Would you be open to the idea that it never occurred to you because you had already seen 5, 6, and 7 before this being 10, say, for talk's sake?
Oh, most likely, yeah, because of other context.
Enoch and stuff like that there. So
Sure.
you visualized it in your head and didn't need to break this down because it was part of the story rather than a bit of the story, if you understand.
Sure.
But to me, and I would say to most people who would read this in the English language, if you said, like, imagine there's sheep in the field and some of them have been painted red and some of them have been painted blue, and I said, go forth and shave all the blue sheep. Right? I wouldn't need to say that if I'd already removed all the red sheep. I would just say, go shave the sheep. I would not need to state blue.
True. You're right. I mean, like I said, I don't think your point is pointless.
Right. So you didn't even see that. So you were. Can we?
Never even occurred to me.
I just thought of something cool. We're going to call it belief blindness. Can we hashtag that, belief blindness?
Hashtag belief blindness.
That I'm copying.
Yeah, I would have never thought of it the way that you just did, which is interesting. You know, to me, that you could think of it that way, and you know, and as you're presenting it, I'm going, oh yeah, that's a really good point. It could have been written very differently from what it is.
Well, do you know what, Richard? This, comes right back to the exact same thing as last week as a representation of it. Because when I see it and I read it and I speak, it's literal, and it comes with an understanding of that.
Way. Yeah.
So, this is a good point of me being like this, where last week was a bad point, but this is a good point. We're seeing it like this because it'll make you think.
Yeah. Now, in an overarching context, I think there's no way to read it that way. If I take this as a standalone statement, I can definitely read it that way.
Yeah. But it's because of everything that you know before, specifically Enoch, in this part of him describing it. Enoch will probably always take precedence over this because it's a bigger description than this little small bit.
In the story of Enoch, it doesn't go into people being stung or why not. It doesn't.
It's only the creation.
It's only the creation of the pit and the smoke.
But you did mention that something opened and locusts come out.
Yeah.
Well, what happens after that?
Vision I got. When a person gets visions, it's not necessarily restricted to what's in the text.
Okay, in the text that we've read, that's what I got the assumption from when we discussed it earlier, that your vision matched with it. That's on my part. But in Enoch, it describes the creation of the whole.
Of the pit. No, there's no locust in Enoch.
No locusts.
No locust in Enoch.
Right, and no description of a falling thing or whatever. There's
a description of a falling thing, yeah.
Is it a description of it's lightning and round and you...
It says lightning dancing all over it. That's in Enoch.
Okay, right, that's in Enoch. Okay, so in your vision, you're seeing, we would describe as, say, a perfectly smooth and silver Borg sphere.
No, actually it had like circuitry looking stuff on the outside of it.
Damn, it's even more looking like the Borg now. It's just silver and not green.
I don't know what the Borg silver thing looks like.
The
so-
Borgs is green and black.
Green and black.
Green and black, but
Okay.
it's a sphere with circuitry on the outside.
Okay.
So it sounds... But yours isn't green and black. Tell me it's not green and black.
No, it's not green and black. It's silver on silver.
Silver
Just
on
different,
silver.
Like, different reflective quality.
With like a light blue tinge.
No.
Give it a light
No
blue
tinge,
tinge, it'll be
just
fucking
silver,
some other sci-fi movie. If there's a silver one with blue lightning.
Okay. Oh,
right.
does the lightning have color? Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, it's electrical blue arc lightning.
Yeah. Right. And that was described in a wee bit of detail in Enoch, and you've then seen it. So you've added bits
Well,
to
the
it.
vision that reading Enoch caused did not stop where Enoch stops, but went on to all of this.
Right. Had you read this before you read Enoch?
No, Enoch came first.
Promise? Can I get
Yeah,
a
I promise.
pinky promise? Give us a pinky promise.
Pinky promise.
Pinky promise.
Yeah, pinky promise.
Pinky promise. Right.
Yeah, sure.
So Enoch came first.
Yeah, Enoch was the first religious thing I read in my life.
After David and
Before
Goliath.
David and Goliath.
Af-
It was before David and Goliath.
What?
It was before David and Goliath.
Did you not go and read David and Goliath straight after your vision?
Yeah, the vision was after I read Enoch.
Oh, no. The second vision or the first vision?
The second vision, which involves Enoch, was when I was reading this.
Okay. And the first vision was David and Goliath.
When I read Enoch, I thought he was on an acid trip. I had no idea what he was talking about at all.
What I'm trying to
When I read this, it triggered a thing, and I had to set my second movie.
Right. So that's what I'm trying to establish is a chronological thing. You're jumping in before I get the whole bit out, right? If you can just
Sorry.
give me... No, it's fine. It's fine. So you had David and Goliath, right?
Yeah.
You had then, after David and Goliath, Waking movie, went and read David and Goliath.
No. I read David and Goliath, then the movie. Then I read Revelation. This movie happened, which included everything from Enoch and made Enoch make sense to me.
So when did you read Enoch then?
First thing I ever read.
So
Of
the
a religious nature voluntarily.
while you were not a heretic Christian.
While I was an atheist, yeah.
So while you were in it, that's what I was trying. So you read it for shits and giggles like I'm doing now.
No, I read it because I walked by a television and it said Enoch, and Enoch kept repeating in my head like Enoch, 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 and it was super annoying, and I couldn't make it stop. I tried distraction. I tried to get involved in other things. I tried thinking about my girlfriend. I tried everything. It would not go away. It wouldn't shut up. So I went to Google and I Googled Enoch.
Funny story, Gur.
I didn't know what it meant.
Gur's in the chat whinging that I put the milk in first. I put the cereal in first, then the milk, but my wee girl will not take cereal with milk. She'll take her cereal in a bowl and a glass of milk. Don't know.
Okay.
Don't know.
Still getting the same nutrition. I guess that's fine, right?
Yeah. Still needs to eat more vegetables. But
So
there's a
why-
second
why-
book of
why
Enoch
did
we need to read.
establish which vision happened in which order and which book I read first. What does that help us with?
Because I was under the assumption that what you described earlier was also in Enoch. Then I needed to clarify that. And then when you told me that you had the Enoch vision when you read this, I wanted to see where Enoch was relative to the David and Goliath story. So it gives me a slight bit more precedent for shits and giggles for what's already in your mind. Before you had the very first dream, you already did have some religious background reading. I mentioned about it being coming from the Catholic Church. I'm sure there was a little bit from that, but you did have an actual, I read Enoch with an actual interest and not for shits and giggles when we're all smoking and doing a crack.
To be technically correct, Mom didn't read from the Bible to us. That was a Sunday thing.
Yeah.
And I don't remember any preacher, which they call themselves priests, but they're not, I don't remember any preacher talking about the book of Revelation in Catholic Church.
I'm going to
I
repeat
don't
myself.
remember that
Yeah.
sermon because it's not a good sermon. It just
Subconscious.
sounds like an acid trip.
But
And
yeah,
then,
but I no, that was it.
I never read anything myself either on my own
Except for Enoch.
until I was 42, and Enoch. So I read the dang thing. It sounded insane.
Right. No, that was it. So you read Enoch. How long between reading Enoch and the Adam or the David and Goliath thing happened?
Okay, I want to qualify something. I did see two things in Enoch, and although the whole thing sounded crazy, it also sounded Bible-y to me. You know what I mean by Bible-y?
It's got that
It had like that kind
that
of
ish,
language.
Bible-ish. Yeah.
Bible-ish. It sounded Bible-ish. I didn't understand absolutely anything about it. But there were 2 points in Enoch that got my attention, which were knowledge claims, which were true, which no person in that time frame of that part of the earth could have made, but are true.
And that's the tree.
And that was the 14 trees. That's right. The 14 non-deciduous, not conifer, non-deciduous trees.
I remember this.
Yeah. And the existence of the eucalyptus tree by description.
Yeah.
That was the 2 things that got my attention. Not that I understood anything else about it. I just thought, wow, that dude's nuts.
Right.
So then I, being Bible-y, I picked up a Bible and could only remember one story. It wasn't God. It wasn't Jesus. It was David and Goliath. Shocking. I was a little freckled-faced, red-haired, shy kid, and I remember David and Goliath. So there you go.
You read David and Goliath before the David and Goliath waking dream.
Yes, absolutely.
Right. Okay. I don't understand why I was under a belief that it came the other way. I'd have to double check.
No, I read it, and then the dream sequence movie thing happened directly after that, like immediately.
Okay, how long between you reading Enoch and reading David and Goliath?
The next day.
Okay, so chronological order. Walking up the street. I'm going to shorten it and make you sound mad as a hatter, but tell me if I'm wrong, right? Walking up the street, normal day, thinking about going home and the girlfriend and all the rest of it. Enoch. Fuck, I need to buy that book. Enoch. So you go buy a book, you read it, you wake up the next day, you read David and Goliath, and while you're reading David and Goliath, you freak your tits out and have a waking dream.
Yep.
Right. When you're about 42.
Yeah.
That's the magic number too, man. Fucking.
Yeah, it's the answer to everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Of course, Enoch is not a one-day read for me. You know, after work of an evening, I didn't read that in one sitting. Because the 2002 Oxford University Press transliteration of Enoch is actually 180 pages. So you don't read that in one sitting in one evening after work.
Right. So there's more of a time for your brain to absorb it and get all these details in.
You could say that. I don't think I absorbed anything except for how the hell's.
But the David and Goliath story, you read that in a day.
Yeah, it's like 500 words or something. It's super short.
Right. And as soon as you finished it, halfway through it, in the middle.
As soon as I was done, I did what a lot of people do. I used my imagination to create the scene that I had just read so that I could like review it, you know. And the scene that I had created took over me, and I lost all control, and I was not able to stop it. Even though I made like asserted mental effort to go, okay, I don't like this, I'm quitting.
Right.
It didn't quit, no matter what I wanted.
This is the most detail I think we've ever went into this. Okay, right. So then that happened.
Yeah.
And you did the whole, I went to NASA, tried to disprove this shit and all that bollocks. Did the whole living on the street and all that there. Somewhere in amongst that, you read Revelations.
Right.
How long?
Right after David and Goliath. I mean, like right after. Like the next day, I started reading the book of Revelation.
So you two bursts really close together of your visions and never again then?
Oh, no, not never again. There's been a lot of these. We've just never had conversation to talk about them. I haven't told you 1/20th of my story.
No, I feel a little hurt.
Well, we just haven't had time.
Right. Well, we've been going for an hour. Do we have an after party?
If you like, if you
Would
have the energy for that.
well, yeah, it's not too bad yet. Would anybody, if we can get a few people, would anybody like to join? Now the topic is specifically, we're going to try and figure out the chronological order of Richard's visions, and that's very vague, but that's the sort of topic we're coming on. So don't jump in and go and change the topic or talk shite. But
Peace and respect, Krishna, Germania, Let's Farm, nice guy, Let's Farm,
said it correctly too.
and Uncle Beck said they'd come in.
Well, they know the story. You're not entertaining Beck. Sorry, you already know the story. No, of course Beck can come in.
Wildheart said they'd come in.
Right, but that this is the topic we're talking about, right? I do want to keep it on that sort of topic because I'm interested in that, but it's jumping off this particular revelation. So what we'll do is we'll round this up, and just before I end the stream, I'll throw the link for the hangout in the chat. But
next week we pick up at 9:05.
9:05. No, is there not an end to a story here?
We're in the middle of a story, man.
Oh, are we? Right. So we'll do this
and
for.
The shapes of the locusts were like unto horses prepared unto the battle. In the end,
there you go.
Chariots, horses running to battle, and it goes on and on about them.
Right, Gur, I'll hold you to that. There, you've got your blue wrench. So I'll hold you to the fact that you have to come in now. And everybody watching over in Wild Hearts, I hope yous were all nice enough to not just watch the one. Yous all opened up and talked in the chat, because I'll get a view that way too. Fucking all watching it and Wild stealing my viewers. I see you out there, Wild Heart. Richard, is it tomorrow you have...
yeah, Mac and Zebra will be tomorrow.
Mac and Zebra's tomorrow. Good. Anything in particular planned for tomorrow? Topic?
Well, yeah, there's something planned. I just don't know what it is at any time. Ever,
oh, that's right. Yeah. Mac always uses.
It's always a surprise to me.
Yeah. Well, I'll be back next week with Richard. I think that's about it. Yeah, I'll finish rolling me smoke and we'll see you all in the after party. We'll be back in about 10-15 minutes. Richard will probably want to grab a smoke, so it might be 15 minutes actually and not just 5. It'll be the 15. Oh, yeah. I was going to say, I've got a 15-minute countdown timer with a bomb in the middle. But we'll not bother using that. Right. Other than that, I will do this there. Right. Oh, shit. Wrong one. Copy. Don't laugh at me. Okay, I'm going to post that and I'll hit enter. It's in the chat. I'm going to hit enter. So, everybody, thank you very much for coming again tonight. We'll be back in 10-15 minutes. I always do have fun with this. And, yeah, it's always good to get you. I don't know where you all be beforehand. Everybody needs to tell me where you are beforehand. Should we wait an extra 15 minutes? If me and Richard didn't go live to 11:30, would we get more viewers, I wonder? Oh. Right.
Peace and respect to Wild Hearts PP.
Wild Hearts PP. Wild Heart PP agreed with me in the speed of light today. Nobody has measured the speed of light. Do you know that?
No one has measured the one-way speed of light.
Richard knows. There you go. Thank you, thank you, Richard. Backed me up what I was talking to Wild Heart earlier about.
That's true.
Sammy could not get his brain around that for a good 10 minutes. It was like, what?
He got it though, yeah.
Oh yeah. And then he went and asked me a fucking real awkward question, like what does a photon of light look like if you were sitting on a train watching it? And you're both.
You're sitting on what?
If you're sitting on a train traveling at 99.99999% of the speed of light, and a photon of light travels as right beside you at the speed of light, what does it look like? Is it passing you? Is it going past you?
Well, as it's coming at you, it looks like a very, 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 very small bright spot. And then once it's past you, you can't see it.
Well, actually, theoretically looking at relativity and that there, once you physically, that has a mass when a photon doesn't.
I had that backwards. When it's going away from you, you can see it. When it's coming at you, you can't.
No, it's the fact that when you approach that speed, your mass becomes, you get crushed. It's to do with the conservation, because I'll send you a link to a video, right?
It's all a lot of fun. Nobody knows.
Fucking brilliant. Right. Anyway, we're gonna hit the intro for the live intro. The link's coming now in a minute. Yeah. And shout out to Geo for making this for me. And yeah, we'll see you back here next week. Thanks. We'll see you back here in about 10 minutes.